Hey everybody, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be really fun because we are going to do Disney Vacation Club 101. If you are just starting your journey into trying to decide if Disney's timeshare product is for you, I want you to watch this video first, and I'm really glad that you're here. So I've been talking about Disney Vacation Club on YouTube for 3 years. That's a long time. And I have produced 52 videos on the topic. But I realize that if you're new to my channel or you're just starting out on your journey, those 52 videos can feel a little daunting to work your way through. So I thought I would create this very basic kind of 5,000 feet level view of Disney Vacation Club to really help you decide if it's something you should continue to do more research on and if it's right for you and your family. So I've developed 5 questions that I think will be really helpful for you to not only determine if DVC is a good idea at all, but also to help you determine where should be your home resort, because those are 2 really big questions and I think you have to start there. So let's start at the very beginning, which is it even a good idea for you? Because you're going to have to take pen to paper and do some math. I realize that this is a magical decision, and I realize that Disney's promotional videos make it feel so emotional, right? I mean, with the kids growing up and the cookies and the daughter and the wedding and I mean, come on now. I, however, have no dog in this fight. Whether you buy DVC or not, I don't make commission, although it would be fantastic if I did. But truly, the whole reason I started doing videos about it is when we were looking into it, I was having a really hard time finding objective opinions from actual owners. So let me be your friend that owns in this space, okay? So when you take pen to paper, determine, number 1, are you gonna travel to Disney no matter what? Because it is a timeshare and it is a decades-long commitment. So think of it as prepaying for your vacations. Think about things like, are you super happy staying off property? Are you super happy staying at Pop Century? If that is the case, and especially if you have a smaller family that can fit at Pop Century, mine couldn't comfortably, then it may not save you any money, because how it works is you're going to pay an initial purchase price that will range depending on the number of points you buy from $10,000 all the way up to potentially $75,000 or even more. You're going to pay that in a one-time fee, and then you're going to pay annual dues. And those annual dues have to be paid for the entire life of your membership. And it is a deeded timeshare. So there is no like quickly getting out of this. If you want to get out of it, you have to sell your contract, which absolutely can be done. And we have actually done, but it's not easy and it will take some time, and you do have to pay some fees and closing costs, and yeah, this is not something you can get out of quickly. So really think through the financial commitment and will it even save you money? And the thing is, people say, well, you know, resort costs are going to continue to go up. Well, frankly, so do your annual dues. So I'm not going to give you all of the details you need to run the math, but run the numbers for yourself. For our family, because we do like to stay on property and we do like to stay in 1-bedroom villas or larger, it really did make financial sense for us, but I don't know your situation. So you're really going to want to do the math. The number 2 thing you're going to want to think about is, where do we love? Now, the DVC resorts really run the gamut from someplace that I would consider, a little more like Florida Condo, which is Old Key West, which is where we own and we love, to really the height of luxury, which would be something like the Riviera, which, by the way, I am finally staying at for one night in September. So for all of you that told me I had to stay there, I am going to stay there very soon. Don't base this when you're initially talking about it just on cost. Think about where you love. Where is that place that you can envision staying years from now, decade after decade, bringing the grandchildren? Most of us have a very emotional attachment to a particular place. For me, that's Old Key West. That was the first place we stayed in a large villa as a family. For someone else, that might be Animal Kingdom Lodge. For someone else, that might be Grand Floridian. So for question number 2, just ask yourself, where do we love? Even better if you have 2 or 3 resorts resorts that you absolutely love, because that will help you as we move on to question number 3, which is, where can we afford? Now, everybody has a budget. Only fools don't have a budget. So I used to design closets for a really big company, and people would come in and say, is it okay that I have a budget? And I would always say, if you don't have a budget, then that's a really bad thing. Everybody should have a budget. So think about how much money you have to spend on this. How much do you have for that initial investment? How much can you afford in annual dues? And then you're going to want to pull out some point charts. Those are readily available online. You can literally Google search Disney Vacation Club 2022 point charts. And those point charts will change occasionally year over year, but overall it's not going to change by much. So by doing that, you can get a really good idea of how many points your family is going to need. Now, for us, we kind of do an every other year for a much larger villa, and then in the in-between years, we'll go with a smaller villa. So there is a lot of flexibility with Disney Vacation Club as far as banking and borrowing your points, which is one of the things we love about it. It's why even financial experts that say timeshares are always a bad idea will say that the Disney timeshare can work for you in certain circumstances. So really figure out how much can we afford. And one small note here, if you finance your purchase, please be careful when you go back to number 1 about, is it going to save us any money? Because if you finance, that money that you pay in interest, you're paying towards prepaying your vacations. And most financial experts will tell you that that is just not a good idea. I always encourage people not to finance Disney Vacation Club. And if that is what you determine is best for your family, that is obviously, there's no judgment here on that. But I think you really have to determine, if you're financing, how much money are you actually saving over paying cash for those same reservations. All right, so you've determined if it will save you money. You've found your home resort. You've decided what can you afford. And the 4th question you need to ask yourself is, do we want to buy resale, or do we want to buy direct from Disney? Now, when you buy on the resale market, or sometimes it's referred to as the secondary market, you're basically buying a timeshare from someone that bought it and doesn't need it anymore. And we've purchased resale 3 times. It has some complications. Obviously, the biggest benefit is you can save potentially $10,000 or more on that initial purchase price. But keep in mind, your annual dues are going to stay the same no matter what. So you're only saving money on that initial purchase price. Having said that, if you have the patience, if you're willing to put in the sweat equity, it can be a great place to either save some cash or purchase more points than you otherwise would be able to, okay? So resale can take anywhere from 3 months to over a year. I had a friend recently where the resale contract she was working in, there was all these complications. It was an overseas buyer. It just goes on and on. You can actually lose a contract that you've had an accepted offer on through something called right of first refusal. It can be a months-long process, and it is not, in my opinion, for the faint of heart or for the impatient. It is absolutely sweat equity. And when we very first purchased Disney Vacation Club, there's no way we could have done it if we couldn't have done it on the resale market. So I am not knocking the resale market. If, however, you want to just pick up the phone, buy the points direct from Disney, especially knowing that you can buy older resorts direct from Disney. You can call them up and say, I want to buy Old Key West, or I want to buy Animal Kingdom, or I want to buy Copper Creek, lots of different options, and they can tell you how much that would be direct from Disney. And that process is lightning fast. Like within a few days, you could potentially have those points ready to use in your account. So it just really depends on your financial situation and kind of your personality. Because I know a lot of people that buy resale that could easily afford to buy direct, but they like the thrill of the hunt. And that's okay. I mean, it's actually kind of exciting, but you have to have the right temperament and the right personality for that to be worth it for your family. I will put down in the description box the resale brokers that I have worked with personally that I can attest to do a great job, are very professional. Always be aware that because this is a heavily regulated timeshare purchase, you really have to go with a licensed broker, and you really don't want to buy a timeshare on Craigslist. You know that, right? Don't do that. Just just don't. All right. And then the fifth question I think you have to ask yourself is, am I a planner? Now, this is one of those things that I always get pushback on, but especially I think now with all of the point limitations and all of the glut of points due to the closures, you have got to be someone who likes to plan ahead in order to make the best use out of a Disney Vacation Club contract. If you're a person that frequently cancels last minute, if you're a person that likes to fly by the seat of your pants and make reservations just willy-nilly, and then you're just as likely to maybe cancel them a few days later, if you like to change resorts constantly, when I pay cash, this is me. I log on like every day to see if I can get a better deal or a higher, better resort. By the way, we don't just use Disney Vacation Club when we go to Disney. I would say about half the time we use our membership and the other half of the time we pay cash. And part of it is because I like that flexibility. I like to stay in the newest resorts. I like to have the option if a great, pass holder rate comes out to take advantage of it, all of those kinds of things. So if you are not a planner, if you're not a person who enjoys planning, I think Disney Vacation Club is a no-go. I think it's a bad idea for you. It requires a lot of maintenance. You've got to keep track of your points. You've got to make sure you're using your points correctly. I just cringe when I hear from someone that let points expire because they didn't understand that if they banked them, for example, that they had to use them within that year, or that if they canceled a reservation less than 30 days out, that there were limitations on that. If you don't love all those nitty-gritty details and you want your vacations to just be simple and be able to book just a couple weeks out, then I think this is a terrible idea for you. So in my opinion, if you're not a planner, DVC is not a good idea for you. So ultimately, can DVC be a lot of fun, a great value, and a way for you to prepay for your luxury Disney vacations? It absolutely can, and let's admit it, it's very cool to be able to tell people you're a DVC member. We love our membership, but I'm the first to tell you it's not right for everybody. So really be objective, take a hard look at what you can afford, if it will save you money, and don't be lured in by all of the emotion. Remember that Disney will still allow you to come and pay cash as long as their doors are open. So there's nobody telling you you can't go to Disney, and you're not any more or less special just because you own Disney Vacation Club. So thanks for watching today. I hope this was a helpful overview. If you're ready to dig deeper, I will put the entire playlist down in the description box below. Fair warning, that is a rabbit hole that you could be stuck in for quite some time. So, plan some time. If you like this video, as well as lots of other videos about Disney Cruise Line, Run Disney, and all things Disney in general, I would love it if you would join me here by subscribing. Please give this video a big thumbs up, and if you'd like to join us on Patreon for exclusive content, please sign up using the link below. Thank you, you guys. I hope whatever you're doing today, you're being really good to each other, and I'll see you next time. Bye!